The following is a presentation of 912 Sports. Welcome to On Air with 912 Sports, your number one source for high school sports. With Shawn Smoak and Kevin Price. On Air with 912 Sports is brought to you by Coastal Pines Technical College. Go Coastal. Prime South Bank. Find your prime. Robbie Robertson Ford, because Fords are cheaper in the swamp. Gibson Animal Clinic, practical solutions with limited fees. Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, the region's best orthopedic care. And Kim Smoak, licensed realtor with eXp Realty.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Snowpocalypse 2025 brought winter sports to a grinding halt this past week, but I hope everyone enjoyed their snow days. Hello, everyone, and thanks for watching On Air with 912 Sports. I'm Shawn Smoak, publisher of 912 Sports, and we've got a great show for you tonight. The snow and ice in South Georgia postponed almost all high school athletic events through Saturday, the 25th, but hopefully everything should return to normal this week, and we can get back to action here in the 912. On this week's show, we'll look at Max Prep's top 100 basketball teams in Georgia, regardless of classification. In other words, the teams are based on merit, regardless if you're 1A or 6A or all in between. Kevin Price will look at the 5 boys programs and take a deep dive into a few of them, and I'll review the 6 girls programs ranked in the top 100 according to Max Prep's list. In addition, we'll have a report on girls duels wrestling and share some information on a great honor bestowed upon one of the 912's all-time legendary coaches. All this and more right after these words from our sponsors. Enjoy the show.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robertson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Shawn Smoak, joined as always by head writer and podcast host Kevin Price. Kevin, how we doing?
Good, Shawn. Good to be here talking high school sports. The weather's a little warmer this week. We'll see if that continues, but it's going to feel nice outside this week. But obviously a lot of indoor stuff going on right now that we're about to talk about.
Exactly, Kevin. And I know you guys didn't get as much snow as some parts of the 912, but we got hammered pretty good over here in Waycross, somewhere around 4 to 5 inches. So it was quite a thing. As a matter of fact, I got up this morning and looked out my front, and still half of my yard is covered in snow. So
Wow.
And here we are, almost a week later. So definitely a strange event here for South Georgia. But hey, we only get it every once, 8 or 10 years. So we'll take it. But you're right, Kevin. We're going to talk about some indoor stuff today. We're going to be talking about basketball. What we did is, Kevin, we went back and took a look at Max Preps has a ranking out. And basically what they do is they rank all the basketball teams regardless of classification. We're going to take a look at the boys, and I think you've got some information on that. We're going to take a look at the girls. I've got some information on that. But we're going to start off with the boys, Kevin. Coming in at number 38, we've got the Brunswick High Pirates. Coming in at number 50, we've got the Bradwell Institute Tigers. At 64, we've got the Statesboro Blue Devils. At 72, we've got the MCA Buccaneers. And then at 91, we got the Ware County Gators. So a lot of great basketball being played here in the 912. And I believe you guys did a deep dive into a few of them.
Yeah, so like we've talked a lot about Brunswick High and, of course, also Ware County with me doing the Golden Isles basketball broadcast to feature Brunswick and Glenn, and, of course, you doing the Gator broadcast to feature both Ware teams. So we thought we might dive in a little bit more to some of the other teams. Now, we've mentioned those, but maybe not as in-depth as we had the ones I mentioned with Brunswick and Ware. But going in the order that you have them in, I mean, that is what it is, but we'll just see how it all plays out. But certainly in their respective classifications and definitely in their regions, these teams are going to have a chance to cut down the nets for region championships and then maybe make a run in their respective state tournaments. But I'll start with the Bradwell Institute Tigers, like you said, in terms of the ranking there in Max Preps, number 50 overall. Bradwell 16-4, 3-1 in Region 1-5A. Don't forget they're subdivided this year, so they're playing Brunswick twice, Statesboro twice, which we'll mention in a minute. Also playing South Effingham and Glen Academy, of course. So, but they're 16-4 overall, 3-1 in the region. I've seen this team play. They like to get up and down the floor. They're end-to-end, so to speak, whether they're playing offense or defense. They like to get that ball off the defensive glass and get it out and run. And then, of course, like to turn you over in the backcourt if they can. They press pretty much the whole game, at least when I have seen them play. And then, again, like I say, they just kind of a wide-open NASCAR style of play. Sometimes a little helter-skelter, might turn the ball over a little more than maybe their coach, Ty Randolph, would like. But it's kind of, a give and take there because they're playing at the breakneck speed that he wants them to play at. But their best player is a 6'7" guy, Shawn, who can step outside and shoot it on the perimeter, or, of course, he can play inside with that body length he has. But Chris Perry, he's averaging 15.5 points a game, and he's just a junior, but he's definitely a Division I type player. You can see that when he's going through the warm-up line that he certainly stands out. And obviously he's kind of taller than most every guy out there too. But he's a really good one, and he kind of carries the mail or carries the weight for them. We'll talk about Statesboro next. I haven't seen this team. I was supposed to see them last week. Actually, I have seen them. Let me correct myself. I saw them against Glenn. I was supposed to see them last week against Brunswick. And just the previous Friday night, they played a dip and tuck ball game in Statesboro against the Pirates and handed Brunswick just their second loss of the season in a 53-50 ball game. So I'd expect the next one to be close as well. But much like Bradwell and Brunswick, they're great overall. They're 16-2, 3-1 in the sub-region as well. Bradwell did beat them. Brunswick beat Bradwell. And then, like I say, Statesboro gave Brunswick his loss. But some pretty good solid scoring all the way across the board. They, much like Bradwell, they kind of thrive on the defense. They try to turn you over, in the backcourt. And then certainly if you can beat their pressure up top and get down inside against them, you might have a better chance to score. But they really pressure the basketball out top and really try to turn you over before you can really set up good into your offense. I know when they played Brunswick turned the ball over a little more than they're used to turning it over, and that ended up losing the ball game for them. And, of course, Hezzy Ken, I think their big guy did get in foul trouble early and had to spend a lot of minutes on the bench with Coach Turner. But their leading scorer is Jacaden Cone. He's also a junior guard. He's averaging 14.3 points a game for the Blue Devils, and they have a couple others, not too far behind him. So pretty good balance on the offensive side. Now, the team I might actually be most impressed with, or might actually have the best chance of cutting down the nets in the state tournament in their respective classification. Not that those other teams are shabby, but they're going to have a tough road to hoe in the higher classifications in the state tournaments. But McIntosh County Academy, Shawn, the last team that we'll talk about, might be the lowest ranked team in terms of max preps and going against all classifications. But in their respective classification, based on the rankings, they've got a chance to win it all. They have been number one as late as last week in Class A Division II. And, of course, not a whole lot of basketball was played last week, certainly in South Georgia, but even in the Metro Atlanta too. So I would think that ranking is holding going into this week. But anyway, 16-3 overall. 2 of their losses came to the Brunswick High School Pirates in overtime at BHS and at McIntosh. So they played the Pirates tough both times they played them. But 10-0 in their region, Region 3, and they've got 6 region games left. So 6 games away from running through that region perfect. And they've already beat, I think, all the teams they have to play. They're kind of going into the second round of region play there. So they've got a chance to do that, definitely, I think. When you look at their scoring, they get it from several guys. The CJ Battle, a transfer from Brunswick, by the way, is averaging 17.6 points a game. A guy that was our Coastal Pines Technical College Player of the Month this month here in January. MJ Quarterman averaging 13.6 points, 9.9 rebounds. So you might as well say he's averaging a double-double if you want to cheat it up just a little bit. 2.3 blocks as well. So he's all over the place, stuffing the stat sheet. And then they're getting some good play out of another guard that transferred from Glen Academy back in football season. That's Jay Nellis. He was Glen Academy's point guard the last few years. He's averaging 11 points a game, and he is a senior. So they've got good scoring. Also, by the way, Neo West, pretty good player on their football team, knows how to command an offense, is leading their team with 8.8 assists, Shawn. So he's dishing that ball off to these guys that are doing the scoring, and they're giving him the high assist ratio there. But some good stats, some good numbers, but they've kind of got all the pieces. And Coach Marquise Jones, former Brunswick High player and College of Coastal Georgia player, doing a great job leading the way there for the Bucks.
Yeah, Ken, we knew this team was going to be really good, especially when they got a couple of transfers that moved in there. Like you said, the Brunswick kid and the Glen kid, we knew they could make a difference. We thought they'd make a big difference on the football field, but it looks like they're really going to make a difference on the hardwood there. And all these teams are going to make region runs. You've got Bradwell and Brunswick in the same region there, so one of them is going to have to come out on top. Statesboro is part of that as well. So you got 3 of those teams right there in that one region. So all those guys are, probably going to make the tournament. But at the same time, somebody's going to have a little bit easier path than the others. And then MCA and Ware, I think both of those guys are destined probably to go in as 1 seeds into their region tournaments to see where they stack up in the state. But good stuff there for the boys. Kevin, we'll take a quick break and come right back here and talk a little girls basketball. But you're watching On Air with 912 Sports.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Call on us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Shawn Smoak. He's Kevin Price, and you're watching On Air with 912 Sports. Kevin, just give us a breakdown of the guys ranked in the top 100 for boys basketball, and I'm going to do girls basketball. Starting off on the girls side of things, number 32, the Coffee High Trojans. Number 33, the Richmond Hill Wildcats. Number 34, the Bradwell Institute Tigers. Number 45, the Ware County Gators. number 51, the Camden County Wildcats, and coming in number 77 is the Brunswick High Lady Pirates. And again, these are across all classifications, just the rankings there by Max Preps. But again, Kevin, we talk about Ware all the time. We talk about Brunswick. So I'm going to take a look at Coffee, Richmond Hill, Bradwell, and Camden, all teams that are, definitely part of the fabric here in 912. Coffee comes into to this ranking at number 32. They are 18-1, 4-1 in region. Right now, they're sitting there at a three-way tie for first place in region 2-5A. They're tied with Lee County and Veterans. Their only loss is the Veterans in overtime, 70-72 on the road. They're coached by Coach Tasha Kellogg. And here's a little fun fact. Coach Kellogg and Dr. Kellogg, who is the principal of Ware County, are married. So when Coffee and Ware County go at it, it's probably a pretty tense week there in the Kellogg household. But Coffee playing great basketball right now. Look for them to make a really, really deep run come state playoff time. And they've, like I said, they're in that three-way battle right now. Who knows? They could be a region champ as well. But we'll move up to 6A. We'll talk a little bit now about the Richmond Hill Wildcats. They come into to this ranking number 33 at 15-3, 5-1 in Region 1 6A. Currently second behind the Lowndes County Vikings. And we all know how good Lowndes is. I think Lowndes is ranked in the top 10, of this poll. So they're a very, quality program. They lost to North Oconee, Lakeside, and inexplicably they lost to Colquitt County. And the reason I say that is Colquitt County is only 2-4 in region play. But Richmond Hill lost that game. I believe that game was at Richmond Hill as well. So they get a chance to go back and exact some revenge as they go on the road to take on, Colquitt County later on in the season. Coach Sarah Jones has done a great job over there, but they do have two huge games left with Lowndes. Richmond Hill has not had a chance to play Lowndes. So they go to Lowndes on the 4th, and then they're at home against Lowndes on the 7th. So those games could be really, really big, who winds up being the region champion there. But again, like I said, Lowndes ranked in the top 10. It'll be a tough ask. So we'll see if the Richmond Hill Lady Wildcats can get it done. Next, Kevin, this is the team that you got to talk about, the Bradwell Bradwell Institute Tigers. Not only are the boys really, really good, but the girls are really, really good. Sitting there ranked number 34, 18-2 overall, 4-0 in the region. They're tied with Evans on the other side. Like you mentioned, this is a subdivided region. Evans is 4-0 as well. They'll get their chance to play in to who goes to the state tournament later on in the year. They lost to Thompson and North Paulding. You kind of understand North Paulding. They're a big school. Thompson, a little small AA school. So evidently Thompson, really, really good. Coach Faye Baker's done an excellent job there. She's been there for a long time. As long as I've been covering sports here in South Georgia, she's been the coach at Bradwell Institute and does an excellent job year in and year out. She's led by their senior Paris Parham, who was in the last issue of 912 Sports. A really, really talented player. She kind of leads the way, and as she goes, so does the Lady Tigers. They've got 4 regions games left this season. One at Brunswick I think it's the last region game, Kevin. 2:08 is when that game is scheduled for or rescheduled for, but that could be for all the marbles. We'll see who can come away. Is it Brunswick or is it Bradwell Institute for that region title there? And like I said, in region, I think it's region 1 5A. So we'll see how that plays out. Also, another team going back up to 6A, the Camden County Lady Wildcats. Camden is 13-6, 3-2 in region, and 1-6A, currently in 3rd place. They're behind Lowndes and Richmond Hill. They've got to kind of battle out. Camden's already lost to Richmond Hill at home and Lowndes on the road. They do play both of those teams again, so they'll see if they can exact a little bit of revenge. But Sharnisha Smith, she was formerly at Glen Academy, but I think she's a Camden girl, went home a couple years ago and has done an excellent job there, since she's been, returned to the Lady Wildcats. So really, really good girls basketball playing here in the 912. And Kevin, we really didn't even talk about the Ware County Gators and the Brunswick High Pirates because we talk about them all the time. But we did want to take a moment, Kevin, to send out our condolences to the Pirate Nation. They suffered a loss this weekend, and I believe you got more information on that.
Yeah, sure, Shawn. Thanks for the opportunity. Obviously, Brunswick High School lost John Willis, their longtime head football coach there, a staple at Brunswick High for many years and still always will have a legacy that lasts at that school. But the reason we're doing that in this segment as well, he is the father of BHS head girls basketball coach Maria Mangrum. Also, Michael Willis, one of the assistant coaches at Brunswick, is his son. And then Wesley Willis, you mentioned that North Paulding team that Bradwell lost to. He is actually their coach at North Paulding, one of the best schools in 7A, and they'll have a chance, or 6A, and they'll have a chance to win the state championship. That was probably in Brunswick's Christmas tournament when he came down here and matched up with his sister again, and also a good Bradwell team. But getting back to Coach Willis, his two sons played football for him at BHS. His daughter, of course, Maria, a good athlete there as well, played basketball certainly. And anyway, Coach Willis, his health has been declining in recent years, but so he's probably definitely in a much better place today. So that's the good part. The sad part is, of course, just them losing their father figure, who was a father figure to a lot of his players. Shawn, if you went to Brunswick High, which I did, you got to know Coach Willis in several different ways. I mean, he was the football coach, the PE coach. You couldn't go to Brunswick High without knowing Coach Willis. And, of course, here in Southeast Georgia, most of the football coaches are prominent figures, but he was a big guy with a personality. And like I say, you couldn't go to BHS without knowing him. But won a lot of football games, 4 region championships, had that great 1999 team that went undefeated all the way to the state championship game and failed to Lowndes, unfortunately, but that still ranks as the best team in BHS history with a lot of really good players that were some of the best of all time to play there. But like I say, Coach wore a lot of hats. He was the coach, he was a mentor, he was a father figure to a lot of his players. And when you look at Facebook and social media this past weekend, he passed away on Saturday, surrounded by his family. You see the impact that he had on a lot of his players' lives and what he meant to them. And some go into detail, some just say general things, but it was a lot of the same things. They learned life lessons from him that have made them a better father, maybe a better coach, maybe a better boss, whatever it may be. So obviously his legacy will last around Brunswick High School for a lot of time. And outside of what actually happened on the football field, that's probably his biggest legacy is the lives he impacted in such a positive way.
Yeah, definitely a man in it for the right reasons there, Kevin. But we'll take a quick break and come right back here with more On Air with 912 Sports.
It makes sense Prime South Bank would have a great mobile app. Nobody is as mobile as our customers. For a century, they've chased dreams, followed their hearts, took the road less taken, made a new path, taken leaps of faith. At Prime South, offering the latest digital banking, secure pay apps, and new online lending is part of a mobile tradition that goes way back. Life is mobile. So is Prime South. Find your Prime. Member FDIC.
Gibson Animal Clinic is ready to help with your animals. From cats to dogs to horses, we treat them all. Calling us for grooming, bathing, boarding, and more serious things like surgery, dentistry, spay, neuter, immunizations, heartworm prevention, flea control, complete lab testing, radiology, preventive health care. Call us at 285-7678. Open Saturdays for your convenience. Gibson Animal Clinic. Practical solutions with reasonable fees. Russell J. Gibson, DVM.
Gibson Animal Clinic, 108 Riverside Drive, Waycross.
Hablamos español en nuestra clínica.
At Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery, you don't have to be an athlete to get the region's best orthopedic care. Our board-certified orthopedic surgeons and physicians treat injuries and conditions that affect just about any joint or bone in your body. Plus, we're backed by the support of Southeast Georgia Health System. From fracture repair to joint replacement, Summit Sports Medicine and Orthopedic Surgery will get you moving again. Call 1-855-ASK-SGHS. That's 1-855-275-7447 or visit sghs.org/summit.
Welcome back, sports fans. I'm Shawn Smoak. He's Kevin Price, and we're going to talk a little girls wrestling now. The boys had their duels tournaments, and then the girls this past weekend had their duels tournament. Girls a little bit different here. They only break it down into 2 divisions. They take the upper classifications and make them Division I, and the lower classifications and make them Division II. We only had 2 schools that were represented in the Division I, the larger classifications there. We had the Richmond Hill Wildcats. They come away with a 4th place finish in the duels. So congratulations to the Lady Wildcat wrestlers. They come out of the box, beat Pope right off the jump. but then they have to go. They wind up losing to Greenbrier, who was the eventual champion. So they have to wrestle their way back. But then they beat Gainesville, and then they lost to McEachern to wind up finishing 4th in that Division I, which is, like I said, the upper classifications. I think it's 4 up, and then 3 down is what the lower classification is. So congratulations to the Richmond Hill Lady Wildcat Wrestling team, finishing 4th in state duels. Now, down in Division II, the smaller schools, we had Long County that was represented. So the Blue Tide, they come off to a great start. They win their first round match. They beat Oglethorpe County, but then they go back to the losers bracket and wind up losing to Lumpkin and Chastity. So I think technically they're going to wind up with a 6th place finish, maybe 7th, depending on how all that stuff shakes out on the back end. But again, another great showing there from a girls program here in the 912. To get it done there at the state level. So congratulations to both the Lady Wildcats and the Lady Blue Tide for being part of that state duels there. And, like I said, come away with some good finishes and winning some matches, on the state level. So both of those programs rolling in the right direction. We'll see how all those girls do, plus all the other girls wrestlers here in the 912 coming up in a few weeks when we conditionals. Kevin, one thing before we go, we had a huge honor bestowed on one of our legendary coaches here in the 912, and I know you've got some information on that, so I'm going to let you talk a little bit about that huge honor.
Yeah, Coach Jeff Aaron, the former head coach at Camden County. Obviously, he had 2 stints there, just retired after the 2023 season, so this past 24 season was his first full season off the gridiron in that retirement, but a big honor came his way late last week. Don't know how long he's really known about it, but it did come out publicly anyway at the end of last week. But he's going to be inducted into the National High School Football Hall of Fame. National High School Football Hall of Fame. So obviously he's a Hall of Fame coach in a lot of ways, talking about wearing a lot of hats and knowing how to get the job done. Coach Jeff Aaron certainly did that, including working with guys like you and I in the media. Maybe sometimes he didn't want to, but he was one of the best at that as well. But Shawn, when you look at his coaching record, I mean, it kind of speaks for itself. 334 wins and just 69 losses. That's kind of what stands out to me. The wins, but just the few losses that he had when he couldn't win a ball game. But 5 state championships, of course. 3 there at Camden. His first one was at Coney as well, and then he came to Camden right after that season, and then of course won one when he went to Grayson in his first and only year with that program. Then he of course goes to South Carolina and eventually comes back this way to take over that Camden County program again. Didn't win a state championship, but they made progress in each of the 3 years that he was there back there, and of course went to the state semifinals with a great run, all the games pretty much on the road. Just 2 years ago in his final season, and left that program on solid footing again this year for the new regime coming in. So obviously a great legacy down there at Camden, a great legacy across the state of Georgia. And again, talking about the wins, but what all he meant to his players, his coaches, the schools, the communities. This is certainly a well-deserved honor. And, he's already been inducted into the Georgia Athletic Coaches Association Hall of Fame. So that's a big honor as well. Now this one on the heels of that. So who knows? He might be inducted into some other Hall of Fame. So he might still be collecting hardware in his retirement.
Yeah, Kevin, a lot of great things. They did this year. I think they had the I forget what it was, the 30th anniversary or whatever of his. It might have even been 35 years. I can't remember what.
Well, I guess it would have been 20. It would have been 25 probably, because that was 1999. Yeah.
Yeah. 25 years there. They had the big honor for him there up at at Oconee. So, like I said, a lot of honors being bestowed upon him, and I think Kevin, and correct me if I'm wrong, I think he's still one of the few coaches here in Georgia, or maybe the only coach here in Georgia that's won 3 state championships at 3 different schools.
Yeah, that's right. And also, I failed to mention, when you look at some of the names he's going in with, some pretty heavy hitters, and I mean that in more ways than one. But Richard Dent, I think, is another Georgia native out of the Atlanta area going in. But also guys like Ray Lewis, Michael Vick, Allen Iverson. Yeah, that same Allen Iverson. He was a great high school football player. Not to mention a great star in basketball, who went on to NBA stardom, but he was obviously a great high school football quarterback. So Coach Herring going to be surrounded by some heavy hitters there when he gets inducted. And the ceremony, I do believe, is in mid-June, June 14th. So a little bit of time for that, but obviously that's going to be an exciting time for him.
Exactly. Well-deserved honor there for Coach Herring. Congratulations. We'll take a quick break and come right back here with more On Air with 912 Sports.
High schoolers, did you know that you can get a head start on your college career and save money at the same time through dual enrollment at Coastal Pines Technical College? Dual enrollment is open to high school juniors and seniors, tuition free. Talk to your high school counselor or visit coastalpines.edu for more information. Coastal Pines Technical College, an equal opportunity institution. Go Coastal.
Play it loud and rev it up. Robbie Robinson's got trucks built for tough.
Make your way to Robbie Robertson Ford in Waycross, where the deals are bigger than ever. Looking for a stylish midsize car, a spacious SUV, or a truck that performs at work and play? Robbie Robertson wants your vehicle and is paying top dollar. Now is the time to buy. Fords are cheaper in the swamp.
This has been a presentation of 912 Sports.